Fellas, welcome back to the Fellas Show. We're here on what's looking to be a beautiful August 12th. It's a beautiful Thursday. I know we're all about the Fellas Fridays here, but shoot, sometimes a good Fellas Thursday ain't too bad either. Uh, Bit of a heat wave here in Philadelphia that we're struggling through, but hey, we're working. Um, Morning, Stephanie. Great to see you as always. We have some fun news, some more wacky stuff, which you know I love, and of course, we have some NFL football games, including one with the Birds, not the. I know there's a lot of bird teams, and that can get confusing, but we're talking the Eagles are playing tonight, which makes me a happy boy, even though I'm angry at the state of the team. Um, I know the music's running. I feel like that was a fun vibe for the little intro. But before we talk, we're going to get into football games. Can we bet on them? Yes. Should we bet on them? Maybe not. It's preseason, but hey, we're sure going to try. Um, Before we get into that, got some fun news, some stuff. I'm going to start. Let's see. Let's start with some Carson Wentz / Quentin Nelson news out of the Indianapolis Colts camp. These injuries just keep getting weirder and weirder. What started with a 5 to 12 week timetable for return, which is already odd. Huge disparity between a 5-week return, which would be basically week 1, week 2 of the actual season, versus a week 7, 8. That's the difference between going like 0-1, 2-5, that kind of thing. It's a big deal. They weren't supposed to be able to have any basically circulation to the foot for at least like a good couple days, good week after surgery. Apparently, both of them are walking already. A day after surgery. So, Quentin Nelson has never missed a game in his career since 2018. He's looking to continue that. And Wentz is looking to get in there so we don't have to make the decision between Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger for the start. Will they actually be back in time for week 1? We'll see. Again, these timetables are so weird. I think at least knowing that they're both on their feet already means they're probably not going to be towards the 12-week end of that. But I'm assuming that's a big part of why it's so big. Maybe now we know. Maybe it's more like, okay, maybe it's like 4 to 6, 4 to 7 now. So yeah, good update for Colts fans or people with a Carson Wentz MVP future. Not saying any names, but we we know who we are. So something else in the NCAA, as you might have heard, for a while now. 5 years after this scandal at Baylor University involving mishandled sexual assault cases, it's going to result. It's finally over. They finally have a result in Baylor's long 5-year investigation. It's actually just ending up in a probation and some pretty minor sanctions, because even though these cases and this information was described as unacceptable, egregious, all these words, it did not technically violate any rules somehow. If you remember, their football coach, Art Briles, was fired. The athletic director, Ian McCall, ended up departing, as did the school president, Ken Starr. Uh, Basically, the allegations centered around this whole case were based on conduct that was never presented to the Committee on Infractions. These allegations are that Baylor shielded football student athletes from the institution's disciplinary process, failed to report allegations of aberrant misconduct by football student athletes, including instances of sexual, interpersonal, and violence. So that's the quote. That's what they are actually being investigated for. In short, they found that the school was covering up misconduct by athletes, obviously, so they could continue to play, because it makes money for the school. It's a pretty interesting, it's a weird way this ended up. Ended up being, they said, ultimately and with tremendous reluctance. Oh man, I can't talk today. Ultimately and with tremendous reluctance, this panel agrees that those fallings, however egregious, did not constitute violations of NCAA legislation. Basically, the question came down was whether or not Baylor athletes accused of sexual or violence or any kind of assault like that were given an extra benefit in the form of a more lenient treatment than other students, and the answer was no, which it doesn't say anything about Baylor's innocence. It just speaks to how they normally handle these things on the campus. Unfortunately, it seems like the way that the rules and the ruling is set up is in a way that it's based on, it's not were these people treated too leniently for the case, which I think anyone would agree they were treated too leniently for the subject at hand. However, the question is, were they treated more leniently because they were college athletes? And the NCAA found that they were not, that it was a similar treatment to any other student there, which somehow is more of a problem. I mean, it makes Baylor somehow look worse, yet also somehow innocent in this specific instance. The NCAA report said, to be clear, this is not a pump. The members of this panel understand that our voluntary service on the COI, which was the Committee on Infractions, requires us to make difficult decisions, and we do not shy away from that responsibility. But a question of this magnitude in an area where the membership is not expressly legislated requires collective membership consideration. It's really interesting because it seemed like even the school, I mean, obviously, all these big names as far as the actual, like the president, the athletic director, the head coach of the football team are all out. Obviously, and only one of them was actually fired. Two of them just resigned based on this. The people that took over, the president, Linda Livingstone, and athletic director, Mac Brown, both came out as they were hired, wrote an open letter that said that these violations did occur and that they would take full responsibility. And so the NCAA didn't even end up agreeing that the violations occurred, but actual representatives of the school did. So it's they actually ended up all of the penalties and the sanctions that will be against Baylor ended up being about completely different things than what we were initially thought was at the forefront of this case. They found rule violations between 2011 and 2016. for things that are called level 2 and level 3 impermissible benefits and drug testing violations. And then, along with level 2 violations involving the institution's predominantly female student host program. So, nothing came out about anything about physical violence or sexual assault or anything like that. It ended up being about drug testing violations, basically like, oh, this dude, star player, tests positive for some weed. Let's not, you know, take that to the full extent that we're supposed to. And then the weird thing is this. What they said was the institution's predominantly female student host group. I had no idea what that was. So then there's the committee ended up finding that group as a level 2 violation or whatever, whatever that means. I'm assuming not quite level 1, but a little worse than level 3. But they said that this mostly female group, their primary function was to work at football games, serve student hosts for football prospects, families, and the only thing that wasn't allowed about this was the group operated outside school, recruiting prospects, and therefore was not allowed. I'm assuming they're insinuating something further by continuously saying, like, it's predominantly female, almost all females. Assuming that's some sort of, like, hey, there's something else here. But the only thing that they actually could call out Baylor on for any of that was the fact that it ended up being recruiting outside of the school. There's also, since 2004, the use of gender-based groups is impermissible, but I suppose the fact that it's not 100% one gender, they couldn't actually get them on that, but that made it worse, and then they were like, and plus you did this with the recruiting. Then it also gets worse with this group where they opened it up to men. It was initially all women, opened it up to men. I'm assuming when the NCAA put out the thing saying that these groups can't be biased by gender. However, there's at least somewhat of a basis of selection based on appearance because the applicants were required to submit an 8x10 upon applying for the job, and the dress code was definitely geared towards women apparently. Baylor ended up also 3 years ago, an independent report came out by the Big 12 Conference, or it was endorsed by the Big 12 Conference, recommending that they implement 105 Title IX procedures, which is a ton, and they were fined $2 million. But the main thing, again, at the heart of this case, in the report, it says, particularly about the sexual assault stuff, it says, in each instance when the head coach received information from a staff member regarding potential criminal conduct by a football student athletes, he did not report that information and did not personally look any further into the matter. His incurious attitude towards potential criminal conduct by his student athletes was deeply troubling to the panel. The head coach failed to meet even the most basic expectations of how a person should react to this kind of conduct at an issue of the case. But it apparently was still not enough to do something about. They got a 4-year probation, a $5,000 fine, and recruiting restrictions during this upcoming academic year. Um, they're also vacating records for games in which athletes competed while they were ineligible. So they kind of got a little bit of a punishment, but really not that much, and for something that was completely different than what they were being investigated for. So just kind of weird, but at least something happened, I guess. It's important to remember how important wording is, because it wasn't did Baylor treat this correctly. It was did Baylor treat this like they would treat any other student. So sounds like there is a larger issue at hand there in the treatment of those kind of cases. Talking about a different Brewers now. Well, the Brewers, not the Bruins. Uh, Last night the Brewers they smacked the Cubs. Ended up being what? What did it end up being? Why can't it just tell me? It ended up being 10-0. Corbin Burns came out and tied an MLB record, striking out 10 straight batters. Um, so that's a tie with two other guys now. Tom Seaver in 1970, and if you remember this news, if you feel like you're having deja vu, Aaron Nola also did it earlier this season. So 1970, and then twice this year. Um, Streak ended up getting broken off with a single in the fifth inning. Um, So yeah, there you go. He had a great game. We called that. We had Suck My Take on for a little. Called that Cubs under Cubs first five. We were like just Cubs under everything, and that was true. 0 is under everything. So shout out Corbin Burns. Shout out to us for making a little money. Good day there. What else do we got? The ESPN football broadcast team just hired Alex Smith, 37-year-old ex QB, former Niner, former Chief, former football team member, football player. Um, he's now in the NFL analyst world, which I think we all saw was going to come pretty soon. He's only retired a few months ago officially. So he's kind of coming in a trial type role where he'll be on, won't be in a full-time broadcasting role or anything off the bat. We'll be dipping his toes in and then moving forward with it if it goes well, assuming. So he's going to be doing programming like Monday Night NFL Countdown, Sunday analyst roles, some stuff like that. Apparently, he also auditioned with Fox and CBS. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's exciting. He seems like a smart player. Obviously, played for a long time. Played a really high level. I think is a bigger part of like Pat Mahomes' success, learning under someone of his caliber. First overall pick, ton of pedigree, all sorts of good stuff with that guy, and obviously, with the way he came back from that injury, came back and played for the football team. I think everyone loved to see. So good for him. Glad he's staying in football because I do like the guy. Hold on, we have another article. Let's see. Um, Back to the super shoes scandal that happened. We were talking about with the not scandal, but the news that we were talking about with the bouncy shoes and the hurdles. Um, Apparently, out of all the runners and all the podium medal winners, 60% of them were wearing Nikes. Now, I will say, are 60% of the athletes wearing Nikes? Because I feel like they might be wearing Nikes because people just generally like Nike spikes, but they do make um, their super spikes, their super shoes, whatever you want to call them, with their carbon fiber plates and the foam cushion that bounces back the energy, whatever. Um, I don't know if this is really a thing. I mean, like a slightly more technologically advanced spike. Um, I don't know how much energy return you can get uh, from a bounce in your shoe, more so than like any other external thing going on in a race. And again, like I don't know what percentage of people were wearing Nikes. Like if 60% of the athletes were wearing Nikes and 60% of them won medals, that makes sense. And then it's also like, okay, if the country's being sponsored by Nike won more medals, then yeah, then they would. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things besides a potentially super spike that's throwing the entire game for a loop. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's some crazy competitive. It's probably just a nice spike. It's probably just a pretty nice spike. I mean, they introduced these shoes. They were involved. They were in the 2016 Olympics, and sure, Nike has their copyrights and all, but like, man, if you think that every other shoe company isn't trying to do the same thing and probably doing it pretty similarly, I don't know. I just can't imagine it's that big of an advantage. That's just my hot take, though. Moving on, we got a little bit of news out of the Texans camp. I think earlier in the offseason, we heard about how the Houston Texans wanted to kind of limit media observation, keep them out of practices and training camp. Um, so they were trying to restrict media access over the upcoming weeks going into the actual season. Um, Normally, once a team gets to the regular season, they can restrict media access during practices as they would like to. Um, so, what the Texans tried to do is say, okay, our training camp is over Wednesday, yesterday. So, we're going to switch to the regular season rules now. Um, and the NFL was like, no, you can't decide when the regular season starts. The regular season starts August 26th, and you will be fully open to local media until August 26th. Um, it seems like a bold move for the Texans to be like, hey, we're ending August 26th, or we're ending the off season today. It's regular season now. Stay away. Stay away from our camp, you media folk. We are in regular season mode before the first preseason game for us started. So there's, I don't know, the Texans can't stop being goofy. That makes sense. Who would expect anything less? Little stuff out of the Olympics. Sky, Jamaican hurdler, Hansel Parchment, uh, almost missed his event. He was trying to get to the 100-meter men's hurdles finals. Um, he almost missed it. He almost missed out where he won a gold medal. And he came and personally he seeked out to thank this one Olympic volunteer. Um, he took the wrong coach to an aquatics venue instead of a track. And then he had to race to get from there to the track to make the finals. Discovered that all the vehicles that were going over were booked out. And then if he took the coach from there to there, like the correct one, he wouldn't have any time to warm up and be there basically at the start of the race. So then he went up to this volunteer who gave him money to get a taxi to drive over. And then he got there, warmed up, got gold, beat the favorite from America, Grant Holloway, and took the gold, man. So then he went back to the swimming venue where he was by mistake. Found her. She said he like showed the medal, gave her a jersey, which is pretty cool. Posed for photos and stuff, and then paid back the taxi fare. He said, it's funny. There's a video. He goes, "You were instrumental in me getting to the final that day. That's because you helped me." Like talking about the medal. That was a cute little wholesome moment. Very sweet. It's a nice little wholesome thing. Yeah. The Texans are so goofy though. Just to go with the Texans, man, they can't. They can't like. Everybody in the world knows the day the regular season starts. You can't just make it up. I don't know who that. I don't know if that's head coach. I don't know if that's ownership. I don't know who's doing that. But if you're making up a start to the regular season to keep the media out of your training camp, you must be having a pretty brutal time there. I can only assume. It's just wild. Let's see, what else are we gonna talk? J.R. Smith is enrolling at North Carolina A&T State. Not only that, where he is pursuing a degree in liberal studies. Now he's waiting on the NCAA to hear about his college eligibility so he can join the golf team. So the interesting thing is here, obviously J.R. Smith was a professional basketball player. However, he never went to college. He went straight out of high school. So did his eligibility clock never start? There's basically no precedent on how to handle this, how even old is he? I mean, if he's 18 in 2012. I don't know. How old is J.R. Smith? So he's 35. And I mean, you hear about these guys. Yeah, you can't base it just on age because people who go to college and are older are still eligible. I don't know if maybe there's something in some kind of fine print in the NCAA like laws where a professional athlete can't go back and play. But even then, it's like it's not like he's playing basketball and a dunk on kids. He just wants to play golf with them. Um, but he came straight out of high school at St. Benedict's Prep, went to the Cavs, went to the Lakers, won a couple titles. Um, but man, he wants to play some golf with the Aggies. So we'll see. I mean, I'm assuming this means he's a good golfer too. I think it could be embarrassing if, say, he is eligible. His clock did not start, and now it can start, and then he doesn't make the team or something. That'll kind of suck for him, but still, I don't. I really like that. I'm just J.R. Smith's a great character. Like, gotta love the guy. He's he's hilarious. He's a great player too. I love watching him play. So if he can be on the North Carolina A&T State men's golf team, I think we should try as hard as we can to get that to happen. I mean, who loses in that situation? Come on. Let's talk a little preseason action for football. Um, so the games tonight are the football team and the Patriots at 7:30. Also at 7:30, the Steelers and the Eagles. Um, so who will we actually see? I don't know. Um, so for the Washington football team Patriots game, Washington football team is getting -2. Um, Patriots getting +2. Ron Rivera said for the football team he plans on playing his starters, which is good. So, however, I mean, with Fitz, he's getting up there. I know he's magic, but he's getting up there as far as his age goes. Um, so we should probably won't see him for more than a drive or two. So the fun thing we get to see is Taylor Heineke, who we saw last year at the end of the season. We saw him almost beat the Buccaneers. He came closer than anyone else in the playoffs did. We saw him kind of ball out and put the team on his back there. So his matchup with Mac Jones for the Pats will be the point of interest for tonight. Who else does the football team have rostered for quarterback? Kyle Allen, but he's questionable, and then Steven Montez. So we'll see if they get any time, but it should be a lot of Heineke. They probably do want to get him reps, and if they keep in the starters for maybe the first quarter, give Fitz a couple, and then let Heineke finish it out with maybe a lot of, not all the starters probably, but a lot of starters, a first team type deal. He is technically completing for the starting job, although I think everyone understands that it's Fitz's team going in for now. Action also mentioned that Bill Belichick is kind of sometimes worth the fade. Um, in the preseason, he is a betting against the spread for Bill Belichick is profitable, and betting on Ron Rivera in the preseason is also profitable. Take that with a grain of salt. It's very, very slight margins. Bet with what's at hand. Don't bet on the coach's preseason betting trends. I like Washington here. I like Washington -2. I think Taylor Heineke, eh, I mean, his experience is important here. His play in postseason already is important here. And I think what's more important is that Washington football team defense, because they're deep, they're talented, and they're deep. So even if you see starters get pulled, they might bat Mac Jones around, and we haven't seen any Mac Jones. We don't know who to expect. I'm not sure if we know how much, if we're seeing any Cam Newton, how much Cam Newton we're seeing. I want to see if there's any other interesting bets up, because NFL preseason is weird as far as betting goes. Okay, so it looks like the lines actually moved. The football team is getting -1.5. Patriots getting +1.5. The over under is 37. I kind of like the under there. Let's see. We got team total overs. Pats are 17.5. Football teams 19.5. Game lines, game props. First team to score props, total point, odd, even props, winning margin props. I love 7 to 12 win buys. You can always get them at like 300-400 a lot of the time in closer games, and a lot of the time close games end up as 7 to 12 point games. Team props. What else do we have? That's just the team total. So not a lot of looks for the preseason, which is fair, because how are you supposed to make odds on a preseason game? But regardless, we'll look at the other game too. The Steelers in Philly against the Eagles. So the Steelers have already played. Which is crazy. So now they've played 2 games before. A vast majority of games or teams are going to be playing 1 game. They looked good in the Hall of Fame game. They beat the Cowboys 16-3. Cowboys didn't put up a point over the final 3 quarters. Put up 3 in the first quarter. Like I was saying, defense is still really, really good. We are all worried about Ben Roethlisberger, but he was on the team last year when they won 11 straight games. That defense is legit. So this is our first Eagles action since they pulled out Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld. We're going to see a full Nick Sirianni offense implemented. We're going to see Jalen Hurts built for, or, the offense built around Jalen Hurts at least. I think you can take every single bet about the Steelers beating Eagles. I think it makes more sense. I don't like, if there is a first half bet, you got to take the Steelers there. Who knows if the Eagles third string, fourth string guys are better than the Steelers' third string, fourth string guys. I couldn't tell you that. I have no idea. But what I do know is the Eagles will absolutely get beat up on to start this game up. I don't think that. I would love to be shocked by Nick Sirianni. I really would. I don't count on it. Eagles are the favorite, getting -1. Steelers +1. Over unders 36. The money line's at a pick 'em. Both team total overs are 17.5. Game props again. You can take first team to score as a pick 'em. Total points, odd and even, and you got all your winning margin bets. So, there's not a lot you can play around with here. But I think you've got to take the Steelers and the football team. Or you just don't bet on the NFL preseason and you save your money for the real football games where we know who's going to be playing. Yeah, I don't know. Just exciting though. I It's fun to talk about. What do we have tomorrow? We've got some games too. New pretty quick little look at what we got here. What the other games are this weekend. Or not, that's fine. I'll go over here. I don't need you, DraftKings. DraftKings has been absolutely just bugging lately. I don't know if it's just me. Used to work great all the time. Now it just has not been. Tomorrow we got Titans Falcons. Let's go. Hammer the Titans, I'm assuming. Bills Lions. Hammer the Bills. And Cowboys Cardinals take the Cardinals. That's my reading the NFL preseason schedule picks. We'll get more into them tomorrow, I'm sure. I think we will have Eric back 100% tomorrow. I think he's arriving today. So we'll be able to get into that for Fellas Friday. As long, I guess with the Saturday and Sunday games as well. Where we have Dolphins, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Saints, Ravens, Browns, Jags, Bengals, Bucks, Jets, Giants, Texans, Packers, Chiefs, Niners, Seahawks, Raiders, Chargers, Rams. Oh no, wait, yeah, that's week 3. Yeah, that's correct. Chargers, Rams, Panthers, Colts. Actually, some fun matchups there. I every time I read one of these matchups, I'm like, I'm excited. I wish these matchups for the real teams because I seeing the teams going at it. Yeah, I think the Titans probably will just dog walk the Falcons. Interested to see what the line is on that. They just put Derrick Henry in for one drive in the fourth quarter and just let him run just from one end of the field to the other. That'd be pretty cool. Like to see it. Falcons are the favorites? Hey, you can lock in the Titans at plus 105 on the money line right now on DraftKings, just so the people know. The Bills are also underdogs against the Lions. Wow. Plus 100 on the Bills, plus 105 on the Titans. You can get plus 155 on the Dolphins against the Bears. Plus 120 on the Vikings against the Broncos. The Broncos. Jeez. 105 on the Browns against the Jags? What is this? The Giants are hitting plus 105 against the Jets? Why is everything backwards? Alright, so first I'm going to read the one that makes sense to me. Oh, wow, there are not a lot that make sense to me. Okay, the Colts are favored over the Panthers. That makes sense. The Packers are favored over the Texans. That makes sense. The Bucks are very much favored against the Bengals. That makes sense. Ravens over the Saints. That makes sense with what's going on with the Saints right now. And then I'll leave the toss-up type ones as toss-ups. And the Cardinals over the Cowboys makes sense. Now here's all the ones that don't make sense. They're favoriting the Lions over the Bills, the Falcons over the Titans, the Broncos over the Vikings. They're saying the Jags over the Browns. They're saying the Jets over the Giants. They're saying the 49ers over the Chiefs. They're saying the Raiders over the Seahawks. They're saying the Chargers over the Rams. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so questions on defense. Why the Falcons are favored. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess I don't know how they're making these odds. I think because how are you gonna know who the like the who knows who the Falcons like third string middle linebacker is? Like, what if he just gets pancaked every play? Who knows? I don't know. I'm excited to see it. Um, I'm excited to fall in love with some players on the third, fourth string on the cusp. Get real excited about them and watch them get cut. Maybe even go do well somewhere else. Yeah, absolute dartboard type of moment. I might. You know, maybe it is. Maybe it makes sense to bet on the worst teams during the preseason. Cause it isn't it. It's always like the teams that go like 4-0, 3-1 in the preseason are absolute booty. So maybe there's a science to it. I couldn't tell you. Um, I don't know. But yeah, my picks for tonight remain the football team and the Steelers. Because I'm not betting on Jalen Hurts and the Nick Sirianni Eagles to win their first preseason game. Not gonna happen. But for now, we kick it to a quick break. We'll come back in a few to go over MLB betting for the day. Very exciting. How many games do we have on the slate? Is it a big one today? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nah, it's just your standard 14er. Got some early ones though, so got a 12-10, a 12-35, a 105, a 110. So we got it. We'll have to get into those. Get those picks out there ASAP. Um, but for now, quick break. We'll be right back. Round 11 for MLB picks for the day. Stay tuned. Fellas, we're back. After the break, it's time for our MLB bets for the day. Let's get into it. We got a full slate of MLB games to talk about. Starting early, starting in just over an hour at 12:10. We got a lot of early games throughout the day. It's a full day of baseball. You can have the TV on all day. Perfect for a Thursday. Pull up get those stats up. We'll start with the first game of the day, where the Washington Nationals are going to the Mets in game one of a doubleheader today. Might not mess with this one. A game one at 12:10, a 7-inning game at 12:10 is always scary, but we'll talk about it. Maybe there's an angle to take. You never know. So the Nationals and Sean Nolan are going to New York to play the Mets and Marcus Stroman. Over-unders at 6.5. Mets are getting a heavy favorite at minus 225. Nationals are dogs at plus 185. Looking at the pitchers here, we know Stroman's a great pitcher, 2.83 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. Struggling a little more lately in his last year's a 4.6, 1.53, but still solid. He's going to be a good pitcher. We all know what he can do. Sean Nolan, on the other hand, I gotta pull him up because I don't know what he's going to do. So he's a 5.28 ERA, 1.62 WHIP, but that was his 2015 season stats. Seems like was this? Alright, this is one of those things that just does not make sense. Why are these... Has he not started since 2015, or... Yeah, that's October 3rd. His last game was on a Saturday in October against Seattle. He pitched for 5 innings, let up 3 runs. I don't understand. All right, wait. We gotta. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Sean Nolan. So the Nationals are bringing him up to the big leagues for the first time since 2015. It's pretty rare to see a new arm coming out of the minors who is also taking such a long road to get back to the majors. He's 31 years old, has made 8 appearances, 7 starts for the Blue Jays and A's from 2013 to 2015. Then he had to get Tommy John surgery, was off the mound from 16 to 17, pitched in the Rockies organization in 18, White Sox organization in 19, independent ball on Long Island, went to Japan in 2020 where he played for the Cebu Lions, and then signed a minor league deal with the Nationals or Washington's organization in March. Pitched at High A East Wilmington and Triple A East Rochester before he got back to the majors in a doubleheader type thing in Citi Field. So in his 12 games, 9 starts, 48 and a third innings pitched in the national system. I guess that's what we have to go off of. Walked 15, struck out 54. They sent Sam Clay down to AAA, brought this guy up. He's a lefty. He's long. He came off 6 scoreless innings in a AAA games in August 5th. Wow. Okay, this is way more for a doubleheader. 12-10. Oh, this is interesting. This is a crazy one. This Sean Nolan guy was just absolutely wow. All right. So there is you can't take anything on this game. There are literally, at least on DraftKings, for game lines you have the run line, plus 1.5, -1.5, minus one, whatever. The over at 6.5, and the money line. Then you have you have home run player props and all total base props, but there's no innings, no. Wow, all right. We're gonna have to stay away because there's literally like nothing to go off of. But I'm absolutely watching this game. I gotta see how this guy does. He has an incredible story to go from MLB, major league pitcher in 2013 to 2015, then Tommy John's till 2016, then minor league, independent ball, Japan, then going back to the majors, going off in AAA ball, and then being called up for a doubleheader against the insane. Can't bet on it. Really cool story. At 12:35, we have a little less interesting. Well, not less interesting. Still a good game, but we know who these pitchers are. The Cardinals and Wade LeBlanc are going to Pittsburgh to play the Pirates and JT Brubaker. Over under set at 9. Cardinals are getting the favorite on the road at -135. Pirates are +115 at home. So Wade LeBlanc. Let's see here how he's been doing. Wade LeBlanc. So 4.02 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. Let's see. Last pitch on the 5th against the Braves. Typically goes. Alright, doesn't typically go for anything. He's all over the place. And boy, does he seem to let up some runs here and there. So that's interesting. Keep that in mind. He's susceptible to score. He's a list giving up 1-2 for sure. Brubaker's a 4.95 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Pretty good at home though, down to 3.65 ERA at home. In his recent games, he's been going. Oh, he's been bad. Last few games, he's gone 5 innings, 6 innings, 4 innings, 3 innings, 5 innings, letting up 9, 1, 2, 4, and 6 runs. What is the first 5 over in this? This screams first 5 over, I think. 4.5. Might like that 4.5. Is that a doggy? Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Alright, doggy. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen. Stepping in. We have this dog. He's gonna be talking about JT. He's sitting. Alright. What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Oh, you should. Bye, doggy. What a fun little intermission there. Thank you, doggy. um, that's Kazi. He's a good boy. Um, yeah, that first 5 over 4.5 is tempting. It's at minus 115 right now. What are the team totals? Pirates over 1.5. Oh, but that's at minus 145. Cardinals over 2.5 plus 105. First 7 over under 6.5. What is the full game? Like 9? Yeah, 9. I'm gonna jot. What are their strikeouts? 5, 4, 6, 5, 7. Where's the strikeouts? Brubaker's 5.5. Wade LeBlanc's 2.5. Is he really not getting that? I mean, it's at minus 140 or something. So obviously it's heavy, but yeah, he's really not doing that. He goes 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. That is a perfect bell curve. Love to see that. I don't know. We'll go. The Wade LeBlanc over 1.5 strikeouts is also super tempting. But we'll do that. We'll do that first 5 over 4.5. I think that's probably the way to take this one. First 5. Got some other dogs barking out there, but that's not this dog. That dog doesn't. He's too good to be yelling out there. So yeah, we'll leave that at the first 5 over, just because I think these guys both. I think either one of them could give up 3 on their own easily. I think one of them probably will. I know we're talking about the Cardinals and the Pirates bats here, but it's fine, man. It's fine. All right, we're giving up. We're not using DraftKings today. It's just not working. All right, FanDuel. You won't verify me, so I won't use you that much, but we'll let it happen. Okay, so moving on. 110, the Dodgers coming to Philadelphia to play the Phillies. Makes sense. Who else would be in Philly? Just pull up this guy too. So Phillies have been hot. But the Dodgers obviously a good team. Dodgers kind of beat the Phillies up yesterday, won 8-2. We have Mitch White pitching for the Dodgers, Ranger Suarez for the Phillies. Over unders at 10.5, and the Dodgers are the favorites at minus 145. Definitely makes sense coming off that performance. Phillies plus 125. Phillies are at home. We know the Phillies at home are a better team than the Phillies on the road significantly. Problem is the Dodgers aren't necessarily going to be much worse on the road. Let's see those records, actually. So the Phillies at home are 34-23. The Dodgers on the road are 33-25. So you say it's like, well, yeah, one team's good at home, the other team's just good. I don't know. Let's look at the pitching here. So on the cover stat sheet, Dodgers pitcher is not listed yet. Suarez, on the other hand, is a .98 ERA in the season, .85 WHIP. All right, looks like we got some weird stuff. Was he trading? No. Okay, turns out this dude. Okay, so he's a relief pitcher. Who I guess is coming in for a start. looks like he me when did he started? I don't know. If he started, it hasn't been much, but apparently he's only let up. Wow. Hey, in his time out, he's looked really solid. Can't say much else about it except he's looked pretty good. Um, it's hard to use, um, you know, reliever stats because you see, okay, let up 0 runs, but it was in a half an inning, it was in a third of an inning. Like, there's not a ton you can do. Mitch White is a 3.75 ERA, 1.33 WHIP for the Dodgers. It seems like he's also typically a relief guy. I'm seeing why the over under is 10.5 now. So he goes for two. It looks like he's been starting a little bit recently, going for 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna say in this one, if Ranger Suarez goes for 3, then I think he seems really good. You know what? This is a weird one, but bear with me. I'm saying Phillies first 3 money line. Now, obviously, the big question on a first 3 money line is, can one of the teams score in the first 3 to even have a result that isn't a push? But if it's a tie first 3, then you get your money back. And I think that the Phillies will be the ones to score in the first 3 if anyone does. I think Ranger Suarez seems like a beast. Another guy seems like he has much more regular stats. We have a knock at the door. Hi. What do you think about Ranger Suarez? Whoa! You can leave if you want to, bro. Just coming in here, knocking over the camera like don't understand. That was a pretty cool shot. Wow, that actually went exactly where I wanted it to. But yeah, so we'll take a look. Oh wow, that just went up to plus 110 as well. It was plus 105. Just watched it go up. Maybe the first 5 too. Is that any better? First 5 is plus 100. That's probably because they'll probably score in the first 5. Over under first 5 is 5.5. I kind of like the first 5 under. I like the Phillies first 5 money line. I like. Maybe Phillies team total as well. I'm gonna do that. Call me crazy. Phillies first 3 money line plus 110. Ranger Suarez isn't getting scored on. He'll go for 2-3, and I think that Mitch White definitely could get scored on. I think, like, first of all, you gotta, if you're someone who's like Ranger Suarez, coming in, not necessarily starting all the time, not playing for a lot of innings, but your starting pitching stats are a 9.8 ERA and an 8.5 WHIP. You just take that to the bank. You gotta love that. So let's see if he can keep it up. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Let's see. Okay, next game is at 110. The Oakland A's and Chris Bassett go into Cleveland to play the Indians and Eli Morgan. Over under is set at 9.5. A's money line is at minus 170. Indians is plus 150. Chris Bass is a 3.19 ERA, 1.04 WHIP. Eli Morgan's a 6.09 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. A's beat the Indians yesterday 6-3. I don't know. Let's see. I think you might like a first 5 run line. It is -1, but then you can get it at -105. Let's see here. Maybe a A's team total or first 5 team total. 6.09 ERA. Let's see. He's always good for 2 or 3. What is the A's? 2. There. You can't. I mean, all right. We'll see what the regular team total is too. 5.5. Nah. A's first 5 team total over 2.5. Or -115. You got to do this with Eli Morning. Why do I keep calling him Eli Morning? Is it like I'm combining Eli Manning and Eli Morgan? It's got to be something like that because I don't know why I keep saying it. But this guy, in any game he pitches, he's letting up 2-run, 2-run, 3-1, 3-run, 3-run, 4-run, 4-run, 3-run, 6-run. He doesn't let up under 2 runs ever. And the times he has let up 2, it's been against the Tigers and the Blue Jays. Pretty impressive. Actually went for 6, only let up 2 runs against the Blue Jays. Other than that, though, gave up 3 in his last outing in 5 innings against the A's, which is just exactly what we're looking for. Gave up 3 against Houston, 3 again against Houston in 5, 4 against Detroit in 5, 4 against the Cubs in 5, 3. Eli Morning, wow, I can't stop. Eli Morgan will give us that first 5 team total over. I'm fairly confident in that. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. As a matter of fact, might get a little star next to it because I like it so much. Sweet. Moving on. The Brewers and Brandon Woodruff going to Chicago to play the Cubs, and Kyle Hendricks over under set at 8.5 for this game. Brewers big favorites, -220. Cubs big dogs, +180. This game goes off at 2:10 p.m. I don't know if I mentioned that. Let's take a look at the pitching stats for these starting pitchers real quick. Woodruff is a 2.23 ERA, 0.89 WHIP. Hendricks isn't bad himself though, 3.68 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. So let's see. So can Kyle Hendricks hang with the big dogs after a 10-0 loss? How do the Cubs bounce back? So 3.68, 1.29, a little worse at home actually, 4.25 ERA at home. Goes for a lot. Typically seems like he's going for 6. Let's see. Yeah, so 6, let up 2 runs. 1.52, 1.21, but he goes for 6 innings almost every time. Early in the season he was going for less, but then by June he's going for 6, if not 8. Pulled out at 5 once in a while if he's let up 6 runs, got pulled at 5 innings. Let up 5 runs, got pulled after 4. But most of the time, unless he's doing very poorly, and even sometimes if he is doing poorly, they let him go for 6 or 7. Brandon Woodruff, on the other hand, obviously a beast. Has the potential to get got on occasion. But typically he's going for 5 to 7, and not letting up much. 1-3-3-2-1-4 in his last, what's that, 7 games. But that's all over like 6 innings pitched. Did he in his outing against the Cubs most recently? He's played 3 times against the Cubs. Has let up 0, 1, 0, and 1 in those 4. In let's see, those were all 6 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, and 7 innings. So he'll be in there for those first 5 for sure. And I don't think he's letting up more than 1. Another Cubs first 5 team total under. Could that be possible? What about just a first 5 run line? Or maybe just a regular run line. What is it? Brewers -1.5 is -130. That itself might be worth it right there. First 5 -1 is +100. Brewers first 5 is over 2.5 for their team total. What's the full? Brewers over 5.5 +110. We're in Wrigley Field. Over unders 28-27 there, averaging 9.2 runs per game there. Yeah, I think I actually like the full game run line for this one. I think the Brewers win it, and I don't think they win by less than 2, so I don't think it's a 1-run game. Just judging by how much better the Brewers pitching is, not just in the starter, but in their bullpen. They gave up one of the lowest ERAs in the league. The Cubs are not going to be scoring. The Brewers will be. It should be easy. Brewers -1.5 at -130. Sometimes I forget I don't have to do a first 5. I just love those first 5s. I really do. After this little break in action until 4:05 p.m. when the Tigers go to Baltimore to play the Orioles. Matt Manning pitching for the Tigers. John Means pitching for the Orioles. Over-unders at 10.5. Tigers getting +125 on the road. Orioles favorites at home -145. Let's see. Matt Manning is a 6.3 ERA, 1.55 WHIP. Let's see. He pitched against the Orioles on July 31st on Saturday. Let up 5 runs in 5 innings. Typically is at least good for 2. Actually, is always good for 2. This season so far has let up 2-2-9, 2-2-2, 4-5-6. Okay, I was hoping the Orioles' first 5 team total was 1.5, just so you could lock that in. But suppose that wouldn't make any sense, especially with the over/under at 10.5. Orioles have John Means going. He's a 2.79 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. However, struggled a little more lately, giving up 2, 1, 4, 5 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs. Was kind of lights out beginning of the season, but a little bit of regression, it seems like. Over 10.5 is steep. First 5 is 5.5. It's first 7. I hate to do it, but what's that first 7? All right, what about like Orioles first five? Minus a half is minus 125. Over 5.5 is minus 115. Two and nah, I don't like that. What I do like is the Orioles first five minus a half at minus 125. They should be able to get two up on this guy. So as long as John Means only lets up one, that hits. Simple as that. Moving on. We've got excuse me. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays against the Boston Red Sox. Rays are starting Drew Rasmussen, and Red Sox starting Tanner Hook. Over-under's 10.5. It's a pick 'em, man. Minus 110 on both these squads. Let's take a look at these pitchers. To be honest, I don't know. It's a tough one because I was just like Tampa over Boston every time. Yesterday, obviously, was a 20-8 game. So a little different than we necessarily, or at least I thought. I thought the Rays would win it. They ended up losing by 12 in a 20-8 game. 4.15 ERA, 1.35 WHIP for Rasmussen. He's pitched, what, 2 games this year, it seems like? Nah, that ain't right. He's pitched way more than 2 games. There was just 2 games in August. Is he a relief pitcher? He is a relief pitcher. Okay. He just does not. Oh, that's a tough one, though. He has a very odd game log. Let's see if we can get maybe a little more, some clues out of Tanner here for the Red Sox. Tanner Hook. He's a starting pitcher. He's a 1.69 ERA, 103 WHIP. What? No kidding. Okay, but he has not pitched in many games this year. He's only pitched in 5-6 games. Let's take a look at what the heck is going on with this guy. First game of the year was against Baltimore. Went 5 innings, let up 3 runs. Then he played the Rays, where he went 1 inning, let up 1 run. Then he played the Yankees twice, went 3 and 4 innings, let up 0 and 1 runs. Then played Toronto twice, went 4 innings and 3 innings, and let up 1 run in each, respectively. So they're not going to put him in for long. This is his first season. What on earth did we do with this one? Alright, so you think either way, these pitchers are not going to be a typical starting pitcher. They're not going for 5. I think at max, Tanner Houck goes for 3. Drew Rasmussen probably less than that. Probably depends on how many runs he lets up. So if you take pitching out of the equation, I think you might have to give it to the Sox here. In a pick 'em, I know I was saying the Rays. Oh, you got the Rays a plus. Always go the Rays. But I don't know about that right here. Nah, you know what? No, I'm sticking Red Sox. You know what? They're going. No, the Rays. This is tough. I might leave it. I think it's a little bit too tough. I think that's when you have these kind of It's just too weird. I'm leaving that one. I'm not touching that. That's just too weird. A pick'em with a relief pitcher and a weird starter in his first season. He's pitched 5 games. I don't know what to do with that. If I'm leading anything, it's the Sox because they have at least their pitcher's a starting pitcher, and he's got good stats on the season. That's just the limited numbers that leave a question. I'd be more worried about the Rays here, but it's cool. I think we can just leave that one. We don't have to make a bet on every game. Remember, it was Tech said it, and it was really smart. The more games that you can eliminate for yourself as things that you just won't bet on, the better chance you have at winning. The more angles that you just know that you can cut out, brings you into a smaller sample size, gives you better chances of winning money. So after that, then at 4:10, we have the Nationals and the Mets game 2. Andre Machado for the Nationals, Trevor Williams for the Mets. Over-unders at 7-inning game. Nationals are plus 140. The Mets are minus 160. Alright, well, for some reason, I'm not seeing these guys on here. Alright, the cover sheet doesn't seem to have this game, so. I didn't know that. Alright. Let's see, Mr. Machado. 3.27 ERA, .73 WHIP. He's even better on the road. 3 ERA, 6.7 WHIP. Away games. Another relief guy going at it. Explains why he has some pretty good numbers. Although when he's relieving, man, he doesn't seem to. He's only let up 4 runs in the season over 11 innings pitched. Man, another. Maybe we just don't touch this series at all. I don't know. Trevor Williams for the Mets. He's a 4.49 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Better at home, 3.12 ERA. So we actually have some starting stats to look at here, and boy, is he all over the place. What the heck, man? Why is today is a wacky day for these pitchers, man. So just as these are the runs that he's given up so far in the season, most recent games. 0-4-3, 1-2-3, 2-6. Oh, I'm sorry. 0-4-7, 1-2-3, 2-6. 2-2-1-5-2. In 6-5-3, 6-4, 2-4, 2 innings. He's all over the place. Not touching that one. In a 7th inning, what are you supposed to look at there? Too weird. Excuse me. Next up, 4:15, the Rangers and Mike Fultonowitz are going to Seattle to play the Mariners and Marco Gonzalez. Over under is set at 8.5. Rangers getting plus 180 on the road. Mariners minus 220 at home. Let's see. Give me the lowdown. What's going on here? Yeah, Mike Fult. M. Fult. 5.77 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. It's a little worse on the road with a 7.56 ERA. Typically goes for. Oh. Okay, so he can get shelled on occasion. Yeah. We're talking Mariners. So he's played a couple games against the Mariners. One, he went 5 innings, let up 2 runs. One, he went 7 innings, let up 4 runs. 7 innings, let up 2 runs. 6 innings, let up 4 runs. Okay, I see that. Then Marco Gonzalez. So 4.73 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Goes for 5 or 6 typically and lets up not that many runs. Looks like 0-1, 2-2-3, and then a 7 guy against the Rangers. Oh man, that just throws everything off. 7 runs in 3 innings pitched against the Rangers on July 3rd. Also went 6 innings pitched with 1 run against the Rangers on August 1st. So I guess if we want to lean towards that more recent one, we can. I think. Let's see what over under is nice and low. 8.5 is a little lower than I'd even have thought for this one. So I like that. Obviously, because the Rangers probably aren't going to score that much anyway. First 5 overs 4.5. I don't hate that. Rangers is over 1.5. Wow, that's tempting. What is this guy done? This 2 units. So 1 it was under and 1 it was over. I don't know. We'll see. Team total. Mariners 4.5 minus 140 might be worth the play. 8.2 runs a game here at T-Mobile Park in Washington. Under is favored 31 and 25 at this park. Two of the 2 worst batting average teams in the MLB, 29 versus 30. 29 being the Rangers, surprisingly, and then 30 is the Mariners. But then the Mariners are also 13th in home runs, and the Rangers are 24th. Rangers are 29th in runs. I actually, over everything, I think I like Rangers, Mariners, under 8.5. Because I think that 8.5 is meant to make people go for the over. I think the park likes the under. I think these teams like the under. Excuse me. I just got that congestion in my throat. I think this is under City. I hate to be. Yeah, add it plus 100 because they have that over at minus 125. I like that. I think. Let me see. Actually, let's see. Because I think they're the I think the public will probably be on the over here. Let's see if I'm right. There's actually a slight failure, but it's 55% to 45%, so can't get too wrapped up in that. That's fine. I'm gonna stick with it. Next up, Reds Braves. Vladimir Gutierrez going against Kyle Muller of Atlanta. Vladimir pitching for Cincinnati. Over under is set at 10. Braves are getting minus 150 at home. Reds plus 130 on the road. Alright, let's see. Vladimir Gutierrez. Oh. Alright, so he's a rookie. Having trouble getting his statistics up. 4.15 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. His MLB game log. Okay, so his first start. Game logs. His first start came this season. Goes what? 5 innings pitched, 6, 7, 4. All right, all over the place. 1, 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, 5. It's just kind of like he's okay. So then, what about Kyle? Kyle Muller for the Braves. He's a 2.8 ERA. 1.11 WHIP. Typically goes 4.5. Lets up 3-1, 0-1, 3 runs. 0-1. So has he played? Hasn't played. Has played against Cincinnati. Let up 1 hit, 0 runs, and 5 innings pitched. Yeah. I like the Braves here. Just maybe Braves money line and just take that minus 150 on the chin. Or parlay it. Or take a run line. Or do something with it. But I think the Braves have the advantage in this one. Sweet. We'll just zoom through the rest of these. Dude, DraftKings is just taking forever. I'm back here like, come on, load. There we go. I know I said I was giving up, but then I forgot because I'm so used to going to DraftKings that I did it by accident. Yankees, White Sox. Andrew Heaney and the Yankees going against Lance Lynn and the White Sox. Lance Lynn was supposed to start yesterday. Now he's starting today. Over-under's 9.5. Yankees getting plus 140 on the road. White Sox getting minus 160 at home. We already know Lance Lynn, stud. Don't even need to say another word. Andrew Heaney, acquired by the Yankees from the Angels. Struggled a little bit in his first 2 starts for the Yankees. Let up 4 runs and 4 runs. Here's what you do here now. You look over here at this game and click on it, and you say, what's the White Sox team total over? And then they tell you, they say it's 5.5, but it's at plus 110. Yeah, I don't like that. However, White Sox team total first 5 over 2.5. Let me tell you why over 2.5 is gonna hit in the first 5. Here's Andrew Heaney's game log. These are all 4 to 6 innings pitched. He goes 4-4-3, 2-4-3, 7-5-3, and then we got some 1-1, but that's back in June already to get down to a 1. So in July and August and most of June. He's gone under 2.5 once. And then if you go back to May, if we're going back, and then we gotta remember in May, it went 3, 5, 5, and 0, then 4, 1, 2. So back end of the season, he's letting up 2.5 every time. And we're talking about the White Sox here. White Sox, first 5. Team total over 2.5 at -120. Makes a lot of sense, bro. Hey, thank you, Yummy Foe. I really appreciate that, man. My self-confidence is at an all-time high now. I think the White Sox here first 5. I'm surprised it's only at 2.5. Although I guess they don't typically go 3.5. But Andrew Heaney's gonna give that up. Lance, I mean, if you want to take a first 5 White Sox -1, that's at +100. We know Lance Lynn is not gonna get got like that. Let's just emphasize that this dude is too good. Lance Lynn, 2.04 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, even better at home, a 1.77 ERA. You look at his game log here. Goes for 5, 6, 7 innings typically. Here's his runs: 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 0. Then a 6 guy in there. But it was against the Astros, so give him a break. And then 3, then 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0. He just does not. He's not gonna get got like that. You can assume the Sox are putting up 3. I don't think you can see. But then I like the this is why I like the White Sox team total over first 5 here over the White Sox -1 in the first 5, because the Yankees could put up 2 on Lance Lynn in the first 5. I don't think it's super likely, but they could. They got a lot of bats now. And then if it's 2-3, that bet is a push. Meanwhile, as long as the White Sox hit 3, you win that. And that's why that one's at -120, you know. That's just the the Field of Dreams game, baby. That's right, it's the Field of Dreams game. Oh, crazy. They're out there in a cornfield playing ball. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. They're out here. Okay, and they probably pulled out Lance Lynn yesterday because they want him to go out here in this cornfield and pitch some baseballs, huh? Let's go. Oh, that's a big change up. Still like it, but still like the White Sox first 5 team total over. But that's even cooler. Shout out Iowa. Shout out Corn. Shout out the movie Field of Dreams. Good flick. Wow, that's exciting. That's a must watch. Gotta see the boys out in the field. You should play a football game in a parking lot. That'd be pretty sweet. No, that'd be dangerous. But on a real note, they should do like a street ball NBA game right before Christmas. Wonder what it would take to have an outdoor NBA game. Oh, now my mind's racing. Still like that bet though. Getting towards the end of the slate here. I wonder. See, we don't have any advanced pitching stats on. We don't have any stats on like Andrew Heaney in a cornfield. Look at the. All right, wait. Let me see this. Okay, yeah, wait. Let's check the DMs. We have a billboard. Dang. That's wild. Here, wait, we'll put it up. And the MLB blackouts, Manfred. How are you the commissioner if you hate baseball so much? Come on, dude. Um, that's wild. Oh, very exciting. That's a shame. You have to put up a sign for the billboard thing, or just to get the blackouts gone. That's crazy stuff. Do you think Manfred's seen the billboard, or do you think he stays in his cryogenic chamber and is only let out to make bad decisions? Who knows? Um, Interesting stuff, though. Jose Barreo and the Torreya. Anyway, back to work. Toronto Blue Jays going to LA to play the Angels. Shohei Ohtani for the Angels. Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays. Over unders 8.5. Blue Jays are the favorites on the road at -135. Angels getting +115. We all know Shohei Ohtani. In case you didn't. The only pitcher that you have to click on his pitching button to actually get the pitcher stats um, instead of his batting stats, which is always just a fun reminder. Um, Hello? Why isn't it telling? Alright. Well, anyway, we already know he's good. And then we already also know Jose Barrera. He's a 3.23 RA, 103 whip. Nothing to sneeze at. Especially, now that allergy season's clearing up. It's been solid. Was with Minnesota. Recently traded to Toronto. Has played a lot better in Toronto than he did in Minnesota so far. 6 innings pitched in 2 games, 12 innings total, 1 run let up. And then as soon as you go back past his acquisition by Toronto, he's hitting up 2.54, 2.4, 1.3, 2.4, just all over the place. So, but yeah, he has the potential still to not be fantastic. Shohei Ohtani. Let's see. I just want to see. I don't even know what his. I haven't been keeping up with this stat. Okay, so he's a 2.93 ERA, 109 WHIP. Super good. Actually, an even matchup on the pitching front. How's the first 5 stuff looking? You can take Blue Jays first 5 -125. Not bad. Over under 4.5 is a little much. Angels over 1.5 first 5. Nah, not the way Jose's playing right now. I don't want to take that. We know that Angel Stadium favors the over. 38 and 20 and 1 on the over, averaging over 10 runs a game there. Maybe just take the Blue Jays straight up. Don't make it harder than it is, you know. All due respect to Shohei Ohtani, but it's about the only thing going on in that team at the moment. Gotta also show respect to the Toronto Blue Jays and the bats they got swinging up there. They're going crazy. Gotta let it, gotta give them that respect, man. Moving on, getting to the end of the slate here. 2 more games. Everybody's favorite series, the San Diego Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Guess what? The Padres are favorited. What? By minus 240? Who would have thought? At least it's not minus 300 or whatever again. Over under set at 9. Padres getting minus 240. D-backs getting plus 195. Be nice to you. Darvish is starting for the Padres. Taylor Widener for the Diamondbacks. He doesn't have a fun little tagline that goes before his name, though, because he's simply not Yu Darvish. Taylor Widener is, however, 4.89 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Has been pitching. Pitched one of these games in the series already against the Padres. Went 5 innings, let up 2 runs. Pitched one other time early in his first outing of the season against the Padres. Went 6 innings and didn't let up any runs. So good for Taylor. Yu Darvish. Who, me? Yeah, you. Has been struggling a little bit. Okay, let up 2 runs to the D-backs in 7. Let up 5 and 6 to the Rockies. 4 to the Marlins. 2 to the Braves. 6 to the Nats. Was out for a bit, like a month ago, with some back tightness. 3.43 ERA, 0.99 WHIP though. Still balling. You gotta take the Padres. The question is how do you go about taking a team that's favored by 1 million runs, that even at minus 1.5 is minus 140? Maybe you take minus 1.5 at minus 140. You perfect game. Yeah, what are the odds on that? Will be very nice to you, Darvish. He got 12 strikeouts last outing against the D-backs. Maybe you take his over strikeouts again. It's only 6.5. However, minus 145. A little bit annoying to mess with that. Strikeouts. No, give me like a... You Darvish under a half home run, minus 160. That's actually crazy. No, I wish I could take a fun Yu Darvish thing, but not much up here right now. This, we might just have to stay away because it's so annoying and I hate it. Could do the Padres first 5 minus 1, but I don't know if they get out that fast. Nah, I'm gonna leave that one where it is. We'll let you just do you. He'll win. We know they'll win. Minus 500 for the Yu Darvish game. This is what I'm talking about. I get it. Minus 500 isn't great returns, but if you bet on a Yu Darvish perfect game every single game this season, you're bound to do something. Yeah. Well, let's jot that down. Yu Darvish perfect game -5. All right, lock that one in, folks. Then we move on. See, that's how you be nice to you. That's how you be nice to you, Elwick. I know you're in a car somewhere, flying around. This dude just loves the Midwest. I gotta tell you. We got the last game of the night. Rockies Giants. Herman Marquez pitching for the Rockies. Logan Webb pitching for the Giants. Over under 7.5. Let's talk about this game. Logan Webb is a pitcher, and he plays for the Giants, and he has a 3.19 ERA, a 116 WHIP. Solid in his last few. We're playing the Giants. Has he gone up against the Giants this year? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so hasn't pitched against this team. Giants are good. Rockies are bad. Rockies are on the road, and that's why they're -19 or +160. And why the Giants are -190. Yeah. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, Logan was for the Giants though. Herman. Let's see how he's doing. He's a 3.42 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, a little bit worse on the road, 4.0 ERA. Now, has he played against the Giants this year? Yes, he has 1, 2, 3 times. So, how did those go? First game against the Giants went 5 innings, let up 3 runs. Second one went 4 innings, let up 4 runs. Third one went .2 innings and let up 8 runs. Okay, so what you're telling me here is Herman Marquez is not a fan of the San Francisco Giants. Not even at all. Not even in the slightest. So what we got to do here then is just look. Can we do Giants team total over 2.5? Is it +120? Bruh. Yeah, we do that. I think this is Giants TTO first 5. I forgot how to actually write it out. Giants first 5 TTO 2.5 comma. What's the actual team total over? 4.5? Come on, dude. Are you kidding me? Giants TTO 4.5 comma. What else we got? What's the run line? First 5. Is it 1? It's a half. Giants minus a half at -115. We take all of those. Attack. Will Yu Darvish pull up on the boys? I wonder where they're. Wait. Where's the plane gonna fly? He might do straight jump out the battle bus on my guy. Can't say doesn't have it coming, but oh, and the Nationals Mets game 1 with Sean, whatever his name was, that doesn't he came out of nowhere, going for it. So they're going. They're in Arizona, so it's not Midwest. It's probably not gonna find Eric, but tell you what. Does Yu Darvish have a Twitter? He does. It's all in Japanese, which is fair, considering he speaks Jap. Oh, no way. Does he collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards? No way. Yu Darvish Dang. Oh man, looking at his Twitter, I like him even more than I did before. I can't understand how. I don't know if you've ever seen Yu Darvish's Twitter, but wow, what a fun! I can't. I don't even speak the language or read the language that it's in, but just looking at the pictures and stuff, which is all you need. You ever heard of a picture books? Picture book. He has little things where he looks like a Lego man, and he's just like he's out here having a good time, saying a lot. He just retweets sick things of him doing sick pitches from the pitching ninja, where he's a wicked 82 mile per hour slider throw up emoji, and then you just retweets it like, yeah, it was. Um, Tweets is Yu-Gi-Oh. Is that Yu-Gi-Oh? I think Konami does Yu-Gi-Oh. That one was Yu-Gi-Oh though. And then a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily know what it says, but I can get the sentiment. Um, Seems like he's doing well for himself. Seems like he's got an ASICS deal. Um, Ooh, that was a sick curveball. Everybody check out. Oh, wait. I might. Oh, will Eric kill me if I retweet the Padres tweet that said after he got named to the All Star team, um, they tweeted "You deserve it" with a little star. Oh, it's so wholesome though, and he retweeted it, and it's just like. Oh, I didn't realize there is a whole cult following for you, Darvish. Um, Trying to think of how can I get this to pop up on here. Oh, no, not like that. Dang it. Oh, someone had a shirt that said "I heart you," but it was like the word "you," like referring to you. But then the O was U's face, so it actually just said "YU," and then he was the O. But you could also read it as it's not an O; it's just his head because it's his name. Oh, there's so wow. People love you. I think we're dropping the "Be Nice to You" T. I think the plan is for Friday tomorrow, for Fellas Friday. "Be Nice to You" drop plus the you have another one. We'll keep it low key, but the "Be Nice to You" tomorrow. Um for Fellas Friday. Here's the thing. So I have the initial thing. Maybe we can flash it up on the screen as a little preview. But yeah, we actually can totally do that. So I have the initial one, but I feel like it needs to also have you Darvish on it, considering it's the it's "Be Nice to You." Maybe on the back. I have to get into the archives. We're in. I'm not verifying my email address. Leave me alone. Listings. We'll do it. We'll pretend we're editing it. So yeah, this is there's a new version. This was the mock-up though from last time we showed it on here. So the thing that says, well, I'll show you real quick. The part that says "fight for what you believe in," that's gonna have more words. There's a whole thing about you. I'm thinking so maybe this goes on the front, and then in the back, maybe like a 3 panel thing of you Darvish doing something wacky or something sweet, and then the 3 panels below of the dreaded shotgun bet. But really, what we have here is it's an absolute gem. I honestly think I would wear that a lot and get very dirty on account of how much I would wear it. Look at that. I think that's a great message to close out the show on. Remember, be nice to you, because if you're not nice to you, then who's gonna be nice to you? Apparently, a bunch of his Twitter followers, but besides that, we can be too. Besides that, also, that's the end of our show for this Thursday. On Friday, we'll be coming back with, I believe, Eric will be here. I believe it will be Fellas Friday. Well, I know for a fact it'll be Fellas Friday because we're the fellas and it's a Friday. Um, Planning on dropping the Be Nice to You tee. That's just the mock-up though. We got new one. We got it even better. The one we're dropping is even better. So yeah. And of course, more NFL action tomorrow. Getting closer and closer to that season. So exciting. So exciting. That's all. That's all I got. Have a great Thursday, everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow on the show. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye, fellas.